Yeah, fears can destroy you, definitely. I just went to the bank, and the bank manager where I go actually is a patient of mine, and we were talking there about how during certain times of the economy that are bad, and banks actually do quite well sometimes when the economy is bad because people need loans, and you can hand out loans at an interest rate. And when someone has a lot of money, there's no stress, no fear. And I was telling her what happens in my chiropractic practice, that I don't want to name the times because I don't want to get kicked off YouTube or anything like that. So I don't want to say any bad words. But there have been numerous times in my 26 years of practice. One thing I could say is when the housing market was bad. When people have fear, it creates a lot of hormonal changes in their body. And these hormonal changes can have negative effects. It has negative effects on muscular tension. That kind of should be obvious, I guess, but it really isn't for a lot of people. But it can have negative effects on the internal workings of your body, such that you start developing diseases such as ulcers, such as high blood pressure, such as raising your BMI, if you want to say something politically correct, basically getting fat. People very seldom, when they have fear and stress, they very seldom get in shape. Now, this is my humble opinion, and you could tell me if I'm wrong down in the comments. If you disagree, I respect you, and just let me know why. Just, no name calling. Fear can really destroy a person's life. And when you're in a situation that, when I'm making this video, I don't know if what you're going through. I know in our country, we're constantly having challenges. When you have these fears and you feel internally like you're being held prisoner in your own home, or you're being felt like a criminal because of who you are, what you are, where you came from, all these different situations, you can't get out of it. You just can't get out of it. And there are two ways to deal with the situation. Number one is to succumb to what the social media tells us and society tells us, and to just cave in and be a sheep. This is an option. In fact, it's the most common option. And so the option is to essentially be a pessimist and allow fear to take over. Now, fear, I remember Zig Ziglar used to say that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. And for a lot of times, that's actually true. It's something that we perceive that isn't actually true. But what if it was actually true? What if fear was because something is real? The only other option besides being a pessimist and succumbing to this fear and experiencing the fear is to just say no, and to actually become an optimist and to look for the good in people. Did you know that when people get cancer, that their expectations or their happiness is a controlling factor in whether they're going to make it or not? That's kind of surprising, but just Google it. It's in there. Ask your doctor if happiness plays a role in your health. I'm curious to see if any doctor would say no. You can ignore fear, but you must respect fear to be an optimist. If I'm walking down and hiking down a trail and I see a snake, I'm allowed to be afraid of the snake. If I have fear of the snake, that's okay. It's a normal response. but I'm not going to let the fear of the snake destroy me and prevent me from hiking or enjoying the rest of my day. And it takes actual effort to become an optimist. It takes work. In fact, it takes, I'm going to say, a lot more work than to become a pessimist, which is the easy way. You know, Dennis Prager wrote a book called, I think it's a book called Happiness is a Serious Problem. I like that title. It was kind of cool. But the message of the book is, and I don't want to ruin it for you, but the message of the book is to be grateful for everything that you have, and that happiness is a serious problem because it takes actual work to be happy. And in the last couple years, we've all been looking like this, and no one can see if we're smiling or not. So many patients I've seen where I walk into the room and I can't tell, I don't know what their expressions are. I can't tell whether they're smiling at me or not, or they're maybe saying something, you know? So fear can really destroy your life. And you're going to have to make a decision. Which side of the fence are you going to be on? Hopefully, we all live in a country that allows us to have that free will. Make a choice to avoid fear, or avoid letting fear take over your life. As a final thought, this made me actually think, as I was talking to the manager at the bank today, that you really have only those two choices, and that someday you're not going to be able to make a choice, because we're all going to perish. And we want to look back when we're close to the end and reflect and know that we respected fear when it was appropriate, but didn't let it take our lives over. And so that's just a thought I had today. And I hope you found this interesting. Let me know what your experiences are. And I'm going to put some videos down here in some boxes of how to do some breathing techniques that if you are experiencing a lot of fear and anxiety and depression, that maybe the breathing techniques that I'm going to show you may help you.